I remember my first spring on the coast of Newfoundland. It was 1988. My neighbors were all talking about the Arctic sea ice coming in. They spoke of past hunting adventures out on the ice and the disasters. The Arctic was coming to visit, and I couldn't wait. Sure enough, announced by a bright white horizon, Arctic pack ice that had formed along the coast of Labrador was drifting in on our shores. Ice of all sizes, and every kind of blue and white. You could hear it melting. Amongst it were icebergs carved from the glaciers in Greenland. Eventually, of course, it would choke up the harbours with the onshore winds, bringing challenges for boaters trying to reach open water or a safe harbour for the night. It remained cold and the ground didn't thaw until late June. Its beauty was incredible, and there was endless fun to be had. The Arctic pack is an important living landscape for many creatures, including millions of harp seals that depend upon finding the ice thick enough to last the 6 weeks that pups need to develop. Polar bears follow the seals. Once the ice melts, the bears must walk or swim back north. There are sightings every year somewhere along our coast. The Arctic fox set records for travels on ice. A few find themselves stranded on the island once the ice melts. Today, the Labrador Current still brings Arctic waters to our shores, but this spring it arrived without the ice. This isn't new. There have been years without the pack before. It's the overall warming trend that is concerning. During the last 50 years, the Arctic has lost 95% of its multi-year ice. Sea ice cover reflects heat back out into space. Without it, the sea surface absorbs heat, leading to further warming in the Arctic. In the past, with plenty of snowfall and colder temperatures, the ice would survive the summer, forming a base for the following winter's snow. It could grow to become several meters thick and several years old before finding its way down the coast to Newfoundland. This winter, on the Labrador coast, with 40 days less snow and temperatures well above normal, much of the ice had melted before May was over. Our most important feature is the Labrador Current, which begins its journey in the Arctic. It flows southward along our coast and across the Grand Banks, where it mixes with warmer water of the Gulf Stream. The mixing lifts nutrients up from the bottom and into the light, where microscopic marine algae or phytoplankton can bloom once the sun returns in spring. Measured in billions of tons, it's the foundation upon which every living thing in the ocean is dependent. This seasonal alchemy off our coast creates one of the richest marine habitats in the world. Increased rainfall and meltwater from the glaciers in Greenland, along with warmer temperatures, are changing the chemistry of the Labrador Current, which changes how it interacts with the Gulf Stream. The Labrador Current and the Gulf Stream are part of a giant conveyor belt, where warm surface water is carried north from the equator, while cold deep water flows southward from the Arctic. A new study has shown that, for the first time in 1,000 years, this circulation system appears to be slowing down as a result of global warming. We can expect to experience more extreme weather, along with changes in ocean productivity and sea levels. Could we listen to the ocean, so bountiful, seemingly? Its tiny plants giving us most of our daily oxygen while storing away much of our carbon emissions, to the detriment of its own health. It is where life began, and without it, there would be no life on Earth.